Hey everybody, it's me, Donnie B, Learn Pro Recording. Welcome back in. Glad y'all are here. Hey, welcome to the podcast. It's Sunday. As usual, you know, we're doing the Sunday podcast thing. Today happens to be Halloween, October 31st, 2021. So, you know, today should be, we're going to tell you scary stories about being in the studio. There's a couple. We got a couple of scary stories about this studio in particular. If y'all got scary stories about your studio, go on and share them with me down in the comments here on YouTube, man, and let me know if y'all ever experienced anything scary in the studio. Like I don't mean like ghost stories and stuff like that. I'm talking about real scary stuff, like losing clients' files. Oh my goodness, what do you do then? Woo, that's scary in itself, man. After a client's paid you for 2 weeks of studio time and working on an album in the studio, and then all of a sudden your hard drive dies, man. Your hard drive crashes. Ooh, what do you do? That's scary, right? Yeah, I'm glad I put that image in your head for you, because that is pretty scary. So anyway, no, I'm just kidding, man. Look, hey, this week's been pretty busy, man. We had a lot going on. We did a choir the other night. That was probably, I think it was 7 people here. Some of y'all might have noticed the photo on the Instagram of all the headphones. That was fun. We set that up and ran that down. It's for a musical, a play. So they had to do all the background stuff, and then the leads will come in and during the play and do the lead stuff. But it was fun, man. We had a good time. So there was that. What else did we get done? We did they call it a podcast. Yesterday we did a podcast. They call it a podcast. They did actually too. It's actually what I call an audio drama. I think we've talked about this before, where the actors come in, they act out the scene, and then the actors leave, and we edit up and then add sound effects and music. It's kind of like an old-timey radio show. Basically, it's a movie without a picture. You, as a sound designer, sound engineer guy, you have to try to create a soundscape to put a picture in somebody's head that can't see a picture. So you have to paint that picture with sound, and it's awesomely creative and awesomely fun, and it's I don't know, you can take it really to the extreme, or you just do it light, whatever. These guys actually take it pretty far. It's a pretty cool thing if y'all get a chance to check it out. It's called Open Door Playhouse, if you guys want to look that up. They got just a ton of stories on there, and it's really fun. Some of them are funny, some of them are scary, some of them are dramas, some of them are murder mysteries, whatever. It's just a fun podcast to listen to. Anyway, that was cool. Of course, all the students, man, we load up on students for the winter because, studio time, and this is scary in itself, man. Studio time in the winter kind of falls off. Thanksgiving week on, man, there's hardly anything going on. So, that's kind of scary all by itself. But I do have a couple of scary stories I want to share with y'all later on. But anyway, we're gonna have a cool thing coming up, actually starting tomorrow, and I wanted to talk to y'all about. I'm giving away free. Y'all know I give away stuff for free all the damn time, right? I'm just here to serve and to give away and help everybody out. So that's why we're here. That's why I want to do this stuff with you. Anyway, I got something free for you. I'm gonna talk to you about that at the end of the video. So before we move on to part 3 of our studio tour. This is part 3 of our studio tour. Today's studio tour is all about this room. This is the podcast studio. I can turn this camera on, and y'all can kind of see that this is the whole podcast studio. We got another camera here. I don't know what camera angle this is. I think that's that camera over there. But anyway, so back to this one. So yeah, this video today. This studio tour video is all about this room. There's just a lot. This room's not that big, man. It's maybe 10 foot by 20 foot. It's not quite that large, but dude, there's so much stuff in here, man. It's like there's so much gear. There's cameras, and there's audio devices, and there's switchers, and there's monitors, and there's a whole production system over there, which I'll talk to you about it more when we do the tour video. But there's a whole production system over there, man. It's got Pro Tools, Logic, Ableton, everything's on there, man. If y'all need to come up in here and make beats and record and then do a podcast about it, we do all right here in this one room. This is pretty awesome. We kind of put this together right before the pandemic shut everything down. we had an idea to build a podcast studio, and that's what this kind of turned into, was that. And then of course right after that, I think we built it in December, right around the Christmas time, 2019, coming into 2020. And then of course we didn't get to use it until, I think we did one podcast in January, like the very first podcast we did in this room. And then after that, man, it shut down till September. So we went through the whole spring and summer without actually doing any podcasts in the podcast studio, which was kind of scary in itself, because we put out some money to build it and put out some money on some gear and cameras, and like this camera that you're looking at here. This is I'm going to talk to you more about it during the video, but the main cameras in this room right now today are the Blackmagics, the Pocket Cinema 4Ks. There's actually two of those. There's a GoPro over there, which I showed you a second ago. I can show you that one again. That's the GoPro over there. So there's two GoPros. There's three GoPros in this room. There's two of these Canon HF 800s or something like HF X 800s. They're okay cameras. They got autofocus so that you can move around a little bit. This one, man, if you move too much, it gets out of focus. If you move the wrong way, you get too close to it and you get out of focus. So it's not an autofocus lens. But we got some cool stuff coming up this coming week. It's going to be next Sunday is going to be part 4 of the studio tour, which is all about microphones. Man, we just got a plethora of microphones here. We got a crap ton. So I'm just going to lay them all out. We're going to talk about all of them and talk about my modifications on my microphones. That might be pretty interesting to some of y'all. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about scary stories from the studio. One of the biggest scary stories of the time that we've been in this building was, it was maybe 5 years ago. This happened. Yeah, let's talk about this. We had a guest engineer that was here, and I know this is a fake picture. Y'all can look. Y'all probably see that that's fake, but we basically had a guest engineer through, and they were working on a particular project that you guys have probably heard on the radio since that time. This artist has grown and become a pretty decent artist. I mean, she's a great artist. Don't get me wrong. That's not the deal. One of the writers that was here on the project, this was like her debut, her first record, and it was a major label. Thankfully, it was a major label, so there was that as well. So the scary part of it was that the engineer came to get me. I was actually in the studio office here, the manager office, and the engineer came to get me. And he said, "Hey man, the system's making some weird noise. I don't know what's wrong with it. It just stopped working, and now it's just making some kind of buzzy sound. I don't know what's going on." And so I walked in there, and I see this, and when I see that, it was actually a bottle of water. It wasn't coffee. I just thought the coffee would be a good idea just because it is coffee, Which, speaking of coffee, I just had a little sip off mine while we were on the other screen there. So no, it was a bottle of water. Somebody had, one of the writers had knocked over a bottle of water, and it went directly across all the faders on the console. All the lights were like blinking a little bit, and there was like this horrible buzz coming out of the speakers, and I immediately knew what the problem was, and I saw the bottle there, and I saw all the moisture on the faders, and so I reached over and shut down the power to the console so it didn't destroy it any more than it already did. But yeah, dude, that was like horribly scary. We spent probably 9 months of that year trying to handle the problem. We immediately went out and bought another console because, dude, we had sessions literally the next day. So fortunately, I was able to find the next morning. I got on Craigslist and I was able to find a decent console for not too much money. Ran out, picked it up, brought it back, hooked it up. Had to buy a couple of cable adapters to make some things work, but we got it done. We got it in there in the next couple of days, and then we continued on with sessions while we were having the other console repaired, or in this case it got totaled, and the insurance company bought us a new one. That's kind of how the whole thing worked. But this was a 9-month process of stress and of dealing with the label, dealing with the insurance company, dealing with the company to get another console. Rather than complicate things, I just went with the same console that we had, so it was easy just to take the old one out, put the new one in, and plug it up, and it was good to go. But these consoles are the console in question was the Audient ASP 4816. That one, dude, they don't even like start putting it together till you pay for it. So it took like 7 weeks. It comes from the UK. It's a British console, so it ships out of the UK. It took about 6 or 7 weeks for us to get it here. And in the meantime, we bought this Allen and Heath. That's actually what this picture is. This picture is actually of the Allen and Heath. No, I didn't put coffee on it just for the picture. That's like Photoshop magic right there, man. But we bought that Allen Heath console, which was kind of a cool thing, man. I'm really glad I found that console. I really like it. We kept it. We ended up keeping it. I actually moved it to my Studio B, so that was kind of a good thing in that area. But that was really scary. To see that happen and to have that happen during a session. We ended up actually I have this little 10-channel Behringer console that we use in Studio B Lightroom for the headphone mix. I mean, that's all it's for. That's all it's really good for. Nay, no offense to Behringer out there, man, but at the time these were the Behringer preamps before y'all bought Midas. These aren't the good preamps, so yeah, this one's kind of crappy. But I put that on top of I have we had a Focusrite and the Scarlett 2i2 and then this Behringer console so I could drive the monitors. And that was our Pro Tool system for a couple of weeks, man, while we, got everything straightened out. But we just kept doing sessions with this, this Behringer console and this broke down ass Audient console. It was not, at the time, it was not funny. Now it's kind of funny. Not really. Very stressful, it was very stressful, very scary, but that was one. Other scary stories about being in the studio. One time they booked, somebody called to book, a management company called to book the studio. They were gonna, and they're like, oh, we're just cutting vocals, man. Just gonna cut some vocals. There might be a little entourage with the client. I'm not gonna tell you who the client was because he's quite famous. But they were like, yeah, he might have an entourage with him. They're shooting some BTS behind the scenes stuff for a music video. And dude, they brought 35 people. There was 35 people in the studio. This studio ain't that big. I mean, total, I think it's 2,000 square feet. I don't even think it's that. It might be 1,800 square feet. But 35 people, man, it got tight in here real quick. Dude, people were like going outside and to smoke and then coming back in. They were just leaving the door open while they were. Honestly, man, they were leaving the door open while they were cutting vocals, and that was just really, and I was here by myself, and I was just trying to keep an eye on everybody, make sure that all the gear kind of stayed here when they left and things like that. Man, that was kind of stressful. There's been many times where rap. We deal with a lot of hip hop rappers and R&B singers and things like that. And sometimes things get out of hand. And one time these two guys were here, and I don't know. One guy brought a chick that the other guy had dated, and they were mad at each other. I don't know, man. It's the human emotion. How those getting away all the time. But this guy, they started fighting and arguing, and then one guy pulled out a gun, the other guy pulled out a knife, and it was a thing, man. That's kind of scary when that stuff happens, because if you're the engineer, man, you're just sitting there, and all of a sudden some 9mm come out. What are you gonna do, man? How you gonna act? That does get scary. We have a I don't know if y'all know what a Sony C800G. That's one of our main microphones here. We got a couple of main microphones, but that's probably our biggest, most go ahead and say most expensive mic that we have. And we're going to talk more about that next week when we do the microphone tour of the studio tour. So we'll definitely show you that one. But man, one time, guys were in here and they were just, I think they were shooting a video. They weren't even really recording. but they kept grabbing the mic and touching it and moving the stand, and that just makes me nervous. It's not really that scary. It's just more nerve-wracking than anything, man. So that's kind of one of those things, man. We've never really had it's always usually pretty cool here in the studio, man. We don't really normally get to weird stuff. Just doesn't really happen that much, man. This is such a most creative spaces, most studios are creative spaces, and there's a certain vibe going on there. When people get in here and they leave the drama from outside, they leave it outside. Maybe they take it off, leave it in the car. Whether they're having trouble at home, they're having trouble with the girlfriend, the wife, whatever, the husband, whatever, they generally leave that stuff outside, and it doesn't come in here. We try to avoid having drama going on in the studio. There was one not that long ago. I think it was maybe 2 years ago, right before the pandemic thing, and this guy. All right, we have an online booking system here at the studio, and clients can book themselves online. When they book online, we basically ask them for a little, just give us a little insight as to what's coming. What are y'all doing today? What's going on? What kind of things are we going to be doing today? We can kind of be prepared. So that way we know if a drummer's coming, we know if a full band is coming, we know if it's just a singer, we know if it's just a guitar player, whatever, okay? We kind of know what's coming. So we're not that surprised when they get here, okay? So this one dude, though, he on the thing, when he booked the session, he said, we're just going to be cutting vocals, and if there's time, we're going to cut some guitar. So I'm thinking, all right, we need the vocal mic up. He didn't really specify which mic he wanted, so I had a couple of different mics up because this is the first time this client was here, so I wasn't familiar with them. I didn't know how, what their voice sounded like or whatever. So I had like 2 or 3 vocal mics set up. Probably the Sony C800, probably the U87, and probably something else, whatever. Maybe an SM7B, because I wasn't really sure. So he gets here, and he pulls up, and he says, "No, dude, we got a full band. I got drums, I got bass, I got 2 guitars, I got 2 keyboard players, I got 4 singers. I need it all. We're doing it live." He only booked a 2-hour session. Okay, I'm thinking it's a simple 2-hour session with I was engineering, so it's just a 2-hour session. I don't need an intern for that. I don't need assistance for that. I can just set up a mic. It's easy. So I didn't have anybody else here. It was just me. And then this guy comes in, and now he wants to do a full band. Look, we're here to accommodate, man. We're here to make things happen. You know what I mean? And I kind of let the guy know. I said, hey, man, if you'd let me know that you were bringing drums in, I would have had the drums set up already and mic'd and ready to go, patched, and kind of even dialed in, man. I mean, I can do that. It's okay. So it took me literally 2 hours to set everything up because I was here by myself. I'm trying to make sure they're happy, trying to make sure that the things get set up, trying to patch everything and dial everything in. If y'all don't know what that is, then you don't really understand my frustration at this time. But it's not a quick thing. You can't set up drums and patch drums and dial in drums in 10 minutes. It's impossible. I don't want to say it's impossible, but if you do it that way in 10 minutes, it's going to suck. I can tell you that. It's going to suck. If you don't take the time to figure out, you already know through experience which mic to put on which instrument. Like, okay, this is my kick drum mic. Okay, this is my snare drum mic. This is my overhead mic. You know that, but you still got to pick the preamp you want to run it through and dial it in. And if there's any EQ or compression, I mean, I'm not afraid to track through EQ and compression. I mean, I kind of, my philosophy is you kind of make the thing sound the way you want it and record it, damn it. It ain't that hard. Just get her done, just get it done. Don't be afraid of it. Just do it. So it took me literally 2 hours to turn this, to get this guy going. And now he's mad. Because now he's, now he gave basically gave me a bad review. It's my one bad review that I have on Google. If y'all want to go look it up, go look it up. It don't matter. And there's a reason. The reason is he didn't advance the session. and that was that was kind of his fault as far as I'm concerned. You know, I don't think that I think that advancing things and being organized and advancing things is really important in this area, because one, if you're the guy coming in, you're only booking a 2-hour session because it's a budgetary thing, you don't have a lot of money and you're trying to save money, let everybody know what's going on, and then everything will be done and it'll get done. If you just, you know, you're just making stuff up along the way, you just come in the studio and you're going to write in the studio, yeah, you expect to spend some money, man, because studio ain't cheap. Particularly this studio is not that expensive, but it ain't that cheap. We're not the cheapest studio on the block, put it that way. There are cheaper studios. We've had phone calls, man, from, you know, potential clients, and if the first question is, yo, man, how much is the studio? You kind of know it's a budgetary thing. You know what I mean? So you run the rates down, you run the rates of the studio, you run the rates of the engineer, and then sometimes the statement is, oh, dude, I saw it cheaper on Craigslist right down the street. I saw a guy who'll do it for $20 an hour with the engineer included. Okay, go there. That's going to be scary. You know, and when you're ready to get serious about your music career, call us. You know, we'll be here. When you go in and you got to move the stuff off the dining room table so you can put up the you know, the inbox and the laptop and the USB mic, you know, yeah, your career, your music career is gonna not be as good as it could be. So, you know, your music's not gonna come out as great as it could be if you were in a controlled environment with a professional engineer and professional equipment. It's gonna be way better. So spend that money up front, man. What are you saving? $20? Here's another scary story for you. The guy that doesn't want to book an engineer with his session because he thinks he can do it better or he can do it faster and save that $30 an hour, $35 an hour he's going to pay for the engineer. Okay? But he doesn't know the room. He doesn't know Pro Tools like he thinks he does. And he's actually going to take more time to do the job than if he did hire a guy. So he's literally going to spend more money than if he had hired an engineer to help him in the first place. So it really doesn't make any sense to me that somebody does it that way, but that's how it gets done sometimes. Anyway, hey, if y'all got scary stories about anything in the studio, just go ahead and comment or send it to me on an email, man. I'd love to check it out, love to hear it. Hopefully y'all haven't experienced anything like liquid on your console or stuff like that, or you know, anything like that. But that does get kind of frustrating and kind of stressful. So be careful out there, man. Keep the lid on the coffee. Close it. It's so simple. It's so simple. Use the bottle, the water bottle, and put the lid up on it. It ain't hard. It ain't hard at all. Plus, it gives you somewhere to use the Sharpie and put your name on your bottle so nobody else drinks out your water bottle. See? Killing two with one. There you go. Hey, I got some free stuff I want to give you. Tomorrow is November 1st, and I was going to wait till Black Friday for this, but that's not till the end of the month anyway. Let's go ahead and kick off Black Friday on November 1st. What do y'all think? Here's what I want to do, man. We have this one course at Learn Pro Recording called The Basics of Signal Flow, which is exactly what it sounds like, the basics of signal flow. It's going to take you through how signal goes from point A to point B to point C, and so on and so on and so on. Then it's going to talk to you about the patch bays. Then it's going to talk to you about the importance of routing inside your DAW, whether it's Pro Tools or Logic or Ableton or whatever, the importance of making sure that you could hear everything and everything's going to be there so you understand the signal flow, where it's going to and where it's coming from and that kind of stuff. It's called The Basics of Signal Flow. Then there's another module on it about hybrid mixing, which is we take the sound out of Pro Tools, for instance, and we route it onto the console, the analog console, so we can mix, okay? That is a thing. So that course is $47. I'm going to go ahead and write that down because I didn't write it down. $47 for that course. So that course actually sells quite, not awesome. It's not awesome. We've sold a few. You know, and it's not that expensive because I really think this is something that could be, it's the basics, you know, and I think as an engineer and a producer, if you understand the basics of signal flow, that's 80% of the battle of understanding where your signal's going to and where it's coming from and that kind of thing. So that's why I think this course is pretty important. There are going to be some updates to it in the new year. There's been some changes in some of the Ableton's got a new thing which we need to add to the course. Pro Tools just released another version that's got one thing that I want to talk about. We're going to update. Basically, we're going to update the course first of the year. Just to keep it relevant, keep everybody on the toes. So, anyway, what I want to do for you though for Black Friday, we have a Learn Pro Recording membership and community. The membership is basically what it sounds like, man. It's a membership. You're actually a member of Learn Pro Recording, and I'm available for you. There's a couple other guys that work here that are also available. If you need something, we have these coaching sessions we can set up easy. Via Zoom or Skype or whatever you guys are more comfortable doing. So we can set that. We got the coaching feature, which is part of the membership. We also have, basically there's weekly free content that comes out that members get before everybody else gets it. Okay. It's basically free for everyone, but members get priority. They get it, they get it before it goes out to everyone else. Then there's, the community. Part of the membership is being a part of the community. The community is basically all of us collectively. Think of it as a Facebook group, a private Facebook group where we only allow you in, and the only people that are in there are people that were allowed in. So, but the community is not. It's not Facebook. It's our own platform that we use just for that. It's definitely a community. There are tabs in there where you can share. You can share templates, you can share presets, you can share ideas, you can talk to people, you can ask questions. There's a general topic area where you just go in and talk about whatever. Doesn't matter if you're having a bad day, come let somebody know. Maybe we can pat you on the back, make you feel better. So it's pretty much just that. It's just a community of people that are helping each other and growing together and learning and growing together. That's what the community is all about. Anyway, that service, that membership and community is generally $12 a month. It's an ongoing thing, and it's so easy. If you don't want it anymore, just turn it off. Just unsubscribe. It's simple. It's really easy. If you don't like it, don't come back. It's fine. If you don't think it's worth $12, don't bother. It's not that big of a deal. We're not here for the money. We're here to help you and to serve you. All right. So what I want to do is I want to give you 6 months of membership and community absolutely free. Buy the course for $47. I want to give you the community and the membership for 6 months absolutely free. That's going to be a savings of $72 according to Siri when I asked her how much that was. It's a savings of $72 that you're not going to have to pay. So basically, you pay for the course, $47, you get 6 months of the membership and the community for free. It's a no-brainer, man. Y'all should just definitely go sign up right now. I will put a link to it in the YouTube right below this video, probably right about there. There you go. Okay, sorry, I had to look at the monitor while I did that. So get in. Even if you don't join, even if you don't buy the course, you can still become a member. It's $12 a month. With the membership, you also get the community, which is the membership is growing. It's an ongoing growth process, which the more content that comes, the more content that you have access to. And believe me, there's tons of stuff out there. We do monthly workshops. We do monthly master classes. We try to do group coaching, which is very helpful because everybody may have the same question or a similar question or that kind of thing, and we can help out. This coming month, the workshop is going to be a live mix. I'm gonna try. We got Thanksgiving coming, and that kind of puts a damper on when we can do things. Maybe I'll do this like the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, because then maybe everybody will be relaxed and not worried about work, and you're going to be in a couple of days. You're going to get a couple of days off. So why don't we do that? Why don't we? I'll send a thing out as soon as I set it up. I'll send the thing out. I'll let you know exactly the date and the time and how to get involved with a click. Absolutely free. I'm not charging for that kind of stuff. But I think it'd be cool to. I think it'll be pretty cool to see a live mix on an analog console. That you guys can interact. We use StreamYard so you guys can interact. You can ask questions. You can leave comments. Whatever. If you feel, if you feel like the snare sounds like garbage, let us know. I'll fix it. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to take up any more of your time today. Today was awesome. Thank you for hanging out with me. Happy Halloween. Everybody stay safe out there. Be great. Be awesome. Keep making that money. Keep making that music, making that money, and enjoy yourselves, man. And we'll talk to you next week on Sunday Podcast. Peace. Hey everybody, Donnie B, Learn Pro Recording. Welcome back in. Hey, we're doing the studio tour right now. This is the podcast production studio. This is where we do all the podcasts. I think we've talked about this place before. That's our Rodecaster Pro. That's the thing that we use to actually capture the audio of the podcast. Most podcasts today are video podcasts, man. Everybody wants the cameras. There's the podcast sign right next to the Pioneer PL560 turntable. Dude, this thing survived Katrina. And now here it sits in my studio, and my brother sent it to me after Katrina, and we got plenty of vinyl. There's another one of those Rode pod mics. That's the one that sits on the desk. On the desk, man, we got an iMac, a 27-inch iMac, which it holds all the apps for the production and stuff. This camera, man, that's one of the. We got two of these mounted to the wall. It's the HF 800, I think, is what it's called. We keep there's a cart that's got all the podcast gear on it. The computer is 2015 MacBook Pro. The ATEM Mini Pro switcher is the switcher that we use sometimes. We've got another one. We got the ATEM Extreme ISO that we use. So there's the Procaster, the little monitor. This thing's on a cart that we can cart wherever. We can move it to any room that we need to, whatever. It's pretty versatile. There's the Extreme ISO. The difference in the Apollo Twin, we use a Stream Deck, an Elgato Stream Deck for you can make macros and stuff. It's awesome. You can press buttons and do things. The speakers in here, the HS5s, Yamaha HS5s, they're surprisingly well done. If you guys haven't experienced that yet. There's the ATEM Extreme ISO. That thing will record each camera input separately so that you can do edits later. It's pretty dope. It's pretty amazing. There's a better shot of the Apollo Twin. That's a little amp that we use to amplify the turntable when we need to play turntable stuff. There's that's basically the ATEM software that shows on the monitor so you can see what you're doing when you're switching things. It also streams. It's got a Stream Deck built in. And I think in this moment we're actually streaming to Twitch. I frequently stream to Twitch, just turn the cameras on and just let it go, and whatever's going on, people get to see it. Both my followers get to see what's going on in the studio. We got multiple GoPros. I think there's 3 GoPros that we have available to run around. So there's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 8 cameras, 7 cameras in this room right at the moment. This is the table. This table is, we normally leave it set up for 2 guests, the host and a guest. That's the normal way to set it up. If we have to, we can add more. If we do one podcast we use the other room, the larger studio, because there's like 6 people, 5 people here and 1 person on Zoom. This room, the podcast studio's got lights already installed. So the lights already, they're mounted. So all we can do is basically come in here, turn it on and go. Podcaster, we could get it done like really quickly, ready to go. So if you guys do need a podcast, hit it up. Let me know. Call me. The number's I'll run the number at the end there. That's kind of what it looks like. We also have the screen there, so we can actually bring in the Zoom call to the screen. We can put your logo up there, whatever. The wall in the back is actually a chalkboard, so we could actually draw pictures on it, whatever. Here's the 2 cameras the 2 main cameras are both Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4Ks. The lenses, we got multiple lenses. There's Rokinon lenses, Canon lenses, just a ton of different lenses and stuff. There's tons of lights that move around. We've got 2 full LED light kits that we can use at the same time and move around. This room is air conditioned, so it's nice and comfortable. we like to make this space just comfortable for you guys to come in and just get her done, man. Come on in, get the podcast done. Here's some of the, just showing you a little bit of the equipment. If you guys have any more questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out. You can reach me at studio@esaudio.com or info@learnprorecording.com. I'll put a link. I'll put a graphic up and put it on top of that so you guys can see it. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate you looking at the studio. Next week, I'm going to do part 4, which will be all the microphones. I'm just going to basically lay all the microphones out, and you guys will get to see all the microphones. I'll talk to you about the mods and things we got on mics. Microphones are awesome. I love mics. Everybody loves microphones, the way they work, the way they do things, and I love it different, whatever it takes. So there you go. You guys have a great day. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll talk to you on the next time. Peace.